welcome back to CozyAnimeCookie, aka your girl Leisha, and we are going to be playing Jill-O-Lantern. Now, from what I'm understanding, this is more of a slasher dating sim type of game, from what I'm understanding from when I looked out on Steam, but let's go ahead and just dive right in and find out together. Oh, click here anywhere to begin. Please take a seat. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to start by assuring you that everything you tell me will be kept in the strictest of confidence and will only be used or distributed as is absolutely required. I need you to tell me the whole truth about what happened, no matter how horrific, unbelievable, or impossible it may have been. Can you do that? Oh, I wonder what the lore will be if I don't tell the truth. I would normally say yes, but I'm gonna go against what I normally do because every time I do what I normally would do, it always turns out to be a boring story. So let's do this. Oh, can I save? So I don't have to replay it over again? Damn, I should have saved before I made my decision. I'd be forgetting that. Okay, anyways. I don't know. A lot happened and I don't know if I can remember all of it. I understand, but I need you to try. You're the only person who can provide a full testimony of the events. The only living person, you mean? Yes, which is why we need you to be as honest and detailed as possible. I'll be asking questions for clarification, but I'm going to do my best not to lead you. All right, I'll try. Can you state your full name, age, and date of birth for the record, please? Vivian Victoria Finale. Oh, she's the finale girl. I get it. 20 years old, October 31st. That was yesterday for you, wasn't it? This all happened on your birthday? Yeah. Is that an action figure of me? I like to use models to help understand events. Is that okay? Sure. Thank you. We can begin whenever you're ready. Well, where should I begin? What brought you to the lake? My roommate, Joy Rancher. My birthday is on Halloween and there was a party out on Lake Shish Kebab. She's Kebab. So she dragged me out there. Did you want to go? No, but she was. She said I had to go. Take your time. This is no rush. We went out to the lake. The party was okay for a little bit. Then people started disappearing, including Joy. I went out looking for her, but I found some dead bodies instead. How did you know they weren't actors or props? It was Halloween. I'm studying to be a forensic psychologist. I can tell a real corpse when I see one. Or smell one. Really? I wouldn't have thought there'd be much need to handle corpses in that particular field. I've been taking some extra courses, accidentally. Well, what happened after you found the bodies? I went back to the party to get help. Joy was still missing, but I couldn't go looking for her by myself with an unknown murderer on the loose. There was barely anyone left on the beach, and the people who were there were too far gone to understand what I was saying. Nothing I said seemed to get through to them. I figured they were all too drunk or high to understand me. I should have realized. Don't try to get ahead of yourself. Just keep going on the order of events as they happen. Well, the beach was no good, so I headed over to the old abandoned ranger station that was nearby. Mark, the school quarterback, and his football friends had set up a sort of VIP area over here. I should have realized something was up when I went inside and found them all completely sober. I tried to tell them about the bodies, but of course, they didn't believe me. They just laughed and said it was a prank, but I managed to convince Mark and one of his buddies to follow me back to the docks to see for themselves. It took 10 minutes of them messing with the bodies before they were convinced they were real corpses. After that, they agreed to help me look for Joy. They didn't go back to tell the others or call for help. No, Mark agreed with me that finding Joy was the most important thing to do at the moment. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was too emotional. That's perfectly understandable, Miss Finale. Please continue. Well, we found Joy's body pretty quickly. She was in the middle of a giant pentagram laid out on the forest floor, a little ways away. While I was sobbing my eyes out over her body, a muscular woman with a jack-o'-lantern for her head walked out of the woods. Nobody recognized her from the party, and she didn't say anything. She just raised a blood-stained machete and started power walking towards us. Needless to say, we all assumed she was responsible for the murders and ran. Not the best first impression. I've had worse, actually. As we ran from her, we kept finding more dead bodies scattered around the forest. There were some up in the trees, a lot of them that we nearly tripped over, and just corpses everywhere. Did any of you try to leave or call for help during that time? There's no cell service near the lake or any other working phones since the ranger station shut down, so calling for help was out of the question. We couldn't go back to town either because Mark lost his keys while running from the pumpkin woman, and every vehicle we found was wrapped around a tree with another body or two inside it. It was like a slasher movie mixed with a drunk driving PSA. What about leaving on foot? Hiking at night in the area is inadvisable at the best of times. The lake is surrounded on all sides by mountains, and Mark insisted that taking the road on foot would make us sitting ducks for the pumpkin woman. Given all the bodies, nobody felt like arguing with him. At first, we tried barricading ourselves inside the ranger station, but after we told the football team about the pumpkin woman, they decided that setting up some extra security was a better idea. They had some innovative ideas. Unfortunately, the traps proved to be more lethal to them than the pumpkin woman. As soon as she showed up, most of the football players ran right into their own traps trying to escape. Or they fell off the roof and broke their neck while shouting at everyone else to watch out for the traps. It was utter chaos until Kenny ran out with a shotgun and blasted the woman right in the pumpkin. She shrugged it off with an echoey, spooky laugh, then grabbed the shotgun and broke it into two with her bare hands. We realized whatever she was, she couldn't be human, so we ran. When we stopped to catch our breath, the three of us tried to figure out what to do next. I said we should chance it and take the road back to town. Mark said we needed to find somewhere else to hide until someone came to save us. Then Kenny suggested that we visit the old witch who lived on the lake. I've never heard of a witch of the lake before, but Kenny said he heard rumors about her at the party. We put two and two together and realized she must know something about the bulletproof pumpkin woman. Mark was against it at first, but he changed his mind when Kenny and I threatened to leave without him. We took a boat across the lake and trudged through the forest for a bit until we found her cave. The witch wasn't there, but she had left her spell book behind on the table. It was written in Old German, which is my second language thanks to my grandmother, and it was open to a spell for summoning a demon, which explained our pumpkin friend. As I picked up the book, the pages flipped on their own to another spell, one that could kill the pumpkin demon. I should have questioned it, but I had a way to avenge Joy. That was all I cared about. God, I was such an idiot. So you took the book to kill the demon? That was the plan. But on the way out, we ran into the witch. Well, technically, Kenny ran it onto the point of her magic knife. He melted into a puddle of goo right in front of our eyes. Even with all the carnage I seen that night, it was stomach churning. The sound, the smell, it was awful. She had another magical artifact? No, the knife was just another spell from the book. I see. Please continue. The witch told us that if we gave back the book, she would destroy the demon. Mark seemed willing until I said she was lying and that she was the one who had brought it here in the first place. The witch tried to attack me and take the book, but Mark tripped her and threw her into her own cauldron. We got out of there while she boiled to death. A very grim fate for a witch. Well, we didn't have any breadcrumbs to follow, but I needed to find somewhere with clear access to the sky to cast the spell, so we went back to the lake. We were about halfway there when we heard heavy footsteps falling behind us. What did you do? The only appropriate thing to do when you're being stalked by a demon. We ran like hell. Mark, wait!
What?
Are you kidding me? The thing's right behind us. Mark was the star quarterback, so I had some difficulty keeping up with him as he ran like a scared rabbit through the dim forest. I could hear the steady rhythmic crunching of the underbrush under the demon's boot behind us. Its steps were even, unhurried, but they were coming closer and closer with every thudding step, like it could walk faster than I could run. I forced myself to push through the pain in my chest and sprint after Mark, but the footsteps just kept coming closer.
Damn it.
Damn it. I'm the one with the e-book, you stupid. Oh. My foot snagged on a tree root and the spell book went flying out of my arms as I landed hard on the forest floor. I had the wind knocked out of me, but I pushed myself up and spat out some dead leaves as I looked around for the book. It had landed in the shadows, but I knew exactly where it was. It was like it was calling to me. Can you describe the book? It was grotesque. The book was bound in pale white skin, and its spines was a real human spinal column, complete with ribs that sank into the cover of the book. Whenever I touched it, the book seemed to shift and pulse slightly under my fingers, almost like it was alive. Interesting. Please continue. I scrambled over to grab the book and heard something crashing through the forest ahead of me. I looked up and saw Mark running back for me.
Hey!
Come with me if you want to live in all this shite. Let's go. I saw his eyes dart over my head before growing wide with terror. I didn't have to look back to know what he had seen. I took his hand before he ran off without me again, and he half dragged me through the forest. We ran for a bit longer until we hit the docks that we had tied the boat to.
Hey!
Come on, just a little further. I'm trying. When we reached the far end of the dock, Mark stopped dead in his tracks. I nearly ran into him and was about to ask what his problem was when I saw the answer for myself.
What the?
The boat we tied to the dock was floating nearly 30 yards away out in the middle of the lake Shish Kebab. The rope we used to tie it to the dock had been hacked apart by a familiar-looking machete that was still embedded inside the post. I felt the bottom drop out of my stomach. as I realized why the demon had seemed so casual as it chased us.
Damn it.
Clever.
Hey!
We're gonna have to swim. This book is our only chance at stopping that thing. We can't risk getting it wet. Okay, then you stay here and I'll get the boat. I think the escape plan ship has already sailed. We slowly turned to look behind us. Standing at the edge of the forest was an annoyingly self-satisfied looking pumpkin demon. She thought she had us trapped, but she was wrong. As she stepped out of the shadows, I felt the spellbook ringling under my fingers. The power inside it thrummed through me, practically begging for me to unleash it. It was almost like I could hear a voice whispering in my ear, telling me what to do, telling me to avenge Joy's death. I had my target, my weapon, and the perfect opportunity.
Okay.
Buy me some time. What? I only need a minute. Damn it, will you stop being such a coward and be a man for once in your life?
What?
What did you call me? I said you're a coward. But if you want to prove otherwise, then here's your chance. Just stall that thing for a minute and don't let it get onto the dock, or run around screaming like a chicken and draw it away, but just buy me some time. Mark glared at me for a second, then adjusted the collar of his Letterman jacket and grabbed the machete stuck in the dock post. It took him a couple tries, but he managed to pull it free and nearly fell on his ass in the process. All right, I'll take care of this person, then I'll show you exactly what kind of man I am. Okay. He slicked his hair back and strutted towards the waiting demon. I tried to focus on finding the spell the book had shown me back in the cave.
Come on.
Come on, where is it?
Hey!
Hey, freak face. Do you have any idea who you are dealing with here?
My name is Andrew Martin.
My name is Marcus Andrew Martin, star quarterback of Cravenport U. And you best remember that, because I'm the one who's about to send you back to the pumpkin in pieces, small ones.
Ugh.
I did my best to ignore Mark's attempt at trash talking the 6-foot-tall, 300-pound killing machine and focus on flipping through the book while not getting any paper cuts. I didn't want to find out what I might summon if I spilled blood on that thing, or what diseases I might contract.
Come on.
Come on, I know it's in here somewhere.
Aha!
Ah! And there it was, Tote de Mortar, which translates to kill the killer, correct? What sort of spell was it exactly? It was supposed to be a kind of divine judgment. If you cast a spell on someone who had killed a human being, then the wrath of the heavens would smite the wicked from the earth. I see. A magical trial and execution rolled into one. You think you're tough, huh? I tried to keep my focus on the spell as I began the incantation, but it was difficult.
Huh?
You think you're tough, huh? What?
What?
You think you got what it takes to take me? Mark was making it impossible for me to concentrate. I have a really hard time focusing on anything when there are people talking around me, and he was screaming so loudly I could have heard him across the lake. He was at least buying me time though. The demon was still watching him and hadn't moved from her spot at the edge of the woods. Although I wouldn't say she looked exactly intimidated.
Ha! What?
We trashed the Del Toro rules, the Robtown zombies, and the Stephenville Kings. And we are gonna crush you into pumpkin pie, you little freak. What? I tried to block him out and focus on the spell, but he had started saying we instead of I, and it was really throwing me off. I was just about to yell at him to shut up when We're the Cravenport Slashers, and we're gonna slash you from here. Oh. The sounds of Mark Sutton's sputtering choke forced me to look up from the book. He had his back onto me, but I could see him tottering back and forth while he clenched at his throat. Oh no. He dropped the machete and took a few staggering steps back before turning around so I could see him. His throat had been cut, but he looked surprised, almost confused. I take it the demon had finally gotten tired of his boasting. No. She still hadn't moved from her spot. If anything, she looked even more surprised and confused than Mark was. I don't understand. What happened? I couldn't figure it out either until... She closed her eyes and slapped a hand to her face. I'm afraid I still don't understand what killed him. In a word, hype. The Cravenport Slashers team slogan is slash you from ear to ear. How such a violent and oddly phrased slogan survived past the 90s is a mystery. But the phrase is always accompanied by jerking your thumb across your neck in a quick slashing motion. You don't mean... It seemed Mark had hyped himself up a bit too much and forgot about the very real and very sharp machete he was holding. Death by Team Spirit? That's a new one. Mark looked at me and reached a hand out as if asking for help. I have no idea what the idiot expected me to do. He just slashed his own throat. I can't exactly put a band-aid on it. He managed to take the shaky step towards me before falling to his knees and slumping over onto his side, still twitching and gurgling. I stared down at him for nearly a full minute as my brain tried to process what had happened. So many people had died that night, and I was honestly a bit numb to it by then. But seeing someone die in such a stupid way was... I couldn't look away. I just stared at him, shaking my head. What about your demon? She was doing the same thing, just watching and shaking her head. When he finally stopped moving, we just kind of looked at each other awkwardly for a second. Then she started stomping her way up the dock towards me. I turned my attention back to the spell and started reciting again. The thudding footsteps on the dock were significantly less distracting for me than Mark had been, so I was finally able to concentrate. This time, I could feel the power building in the words. Can you describe what it was like casting a spell for the first time?
Ich beschwöre die Macht aus dem Jenseits.
It was like there was an electrical current going through my body. No, more like puppet string threading themselves through my bones. My German was a little rusty, but I remember there was a weird tingling sensation on my lips as I spoke, like something else was shaping them into the correct syllables for me.
Blitztote murder!
The tingling grew stronger the further I read, and as it did, the words started to form more easily on my lips until I didn't even have to think about it. It was like I'd been saying the words all my life, or something else had. As I read on, a powerful wind kicked up around me. I swept past me, but the demon was buffeted like she was fighting a hurricane, and it slowed her to a stop. Clouds started to appear out of nowhere above me, blocking out the light of the moon and stars. It was almost pitch black except for the jack-o'-lantern face of the demon and the pages of the spell book. I don't know if the pages were glowing or if I could see in the dark somehow, but the book wouldn't let me stop reading. I could feel myself losing control. Part of me was scared of what was happening, but the other part was... It felt so good, so powerful. God, I feel sick just thinking about it. Go on.
Den murdered!
As I reached out the end of the incantation, I paused at the last word to look up at the demon. She was only a few feet away, but struggling against the winds to keep her footing. I had been so terrified of her, but seeing her like that, so helpless against my power, it was I. Miss Finale. I'm sorry, I thought I was okay, but it's all right. Just take a minute. If I may ask a question, you said you felt like you were on puppet strings and something was guiding your lips. Did it feel like you had lost control, or did you just give in and not fight it? I don't know if I could tell the difference. I'm not a very strong person. Not in any way. It's so much easier and safer to just do as I'm told and let other people take care of things for me. When I saw Joy's body that night, I realized I didn't have anyone left I could trust. I felt adrift, alone. But then I heard that whisper in my head. It didn't sound like anyone in particular, but it felt familiar, safe. It was like I finally found exactly what I had been looking for all my life. Someone else to just tell me what to do, and Miss Finale. Vivian! What? We lost you for a second there. Are you okay? Sorry. I'm okay. I just realized something. Which is, I'm really not the same person I was back then. It's only been a day or two, but everything's changed, and I can never go back to being that person. Can I? Miss Finale, Vivian, I need you to know that none of what happened was your fault. Thanks for saying that, but I think you'll see some of it was definitely my fault. Although I can't take all the blame, she caused a lot of problems too. Your demon, you mean? Yeah, my demon. Let's continue then. Right. Where was I? Oh yeah. She looked more annoyed than anything about the winds, but I remember staring into her glowing eyes as I brought my hand down and screamed the last word of the spell.
Schlagen!
The next instant, there was an explosion of sound and a flash of brilliant white light. I was blinded, but I could feel the raw power of the spell moving in slow motion. The bolt of lightning I had summoned fell straight down on top of her. And missed. Missed? Yeah, it took a hard right turn at the last millisecond and zapped Mark instead. The spell killed a dead man? Dying man. I'm pretty sure he still had a little life left in him when the spell struck. Or maybe it was just the lightning making his body do a little postpartum jump. But why did the spell pick a dying football star over a demon that had killed more than a dozen innocent people that night? It will be a while until I figure that out. All I could do at the moment was watch in stunned silence as the overpowering smell of ozone and burnt rubber from Mark's melting sneakers filled my nose. After a minute, I looked up from the smoldering pile of former football star to the inhuman killing machine standing less than 10 feet away from me. I thought it was all over until...
Nice shot, Womatel.
What the?
And that's when things started getting complicated. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Chapter 1, Pumpkin Problems. That was the first time she had spoken to you. It was the first time she had spoken at all. That pumpkin-headed smart mouth had been stalking me all night, popping up and scaring the living heck out of me without so much as a peep. And the first words out of her mouth were a lame joke about my aim? I had no idea how to react, so I just kind of stood there, trying to make sense of anything and failing.
Human.
Hello? Earth to human. You in there? She stepped forward and waved a gloved hand in front of my face. I snapped out of my daze and jumped back away from her, not realizing that I was past the edge of the dock until my foot stepped down into empty air. Whoa, watch it. Just before I fell into the water, she grabbed me by the arm, then carefully pulled me back onto the dock. Easy there, human, easy. You're probably still riding a little high from touching upon forces beyond your comprehension and whatever. Just take a second to catch your breath. In fact, why don't I hold that scary old book for you? It looks awfully heavy. She held out one hand to take the book while the other stayed gently fastened around my upper arm. I jerked away, carefully not to fall off the dock again, and she let me go without resistance. Yeesh, okay. I'm just trying to be helpful. She put her hands up in front of her and took a few steps back in a pacifying gesture. And what did you do? I just stared at her like a deer in headlights while my brain started racing with questions. Why is this murdering monster suddenly acting so friendly? Doesn't it know that I just tried to kill it? Does it know it's been trying to kill me? Wait, has it been trying to kill me? Human? I realized I was just staring at her and blurted out the first thing that came to my lips. You can talk? Oh, good. I was starting to get worried I wasn't actually vocalizing my thoughts.
Huh?
I don't know how you humans do it all the time. I mean, constantly creating sonic vibrations just to communicate. Plus, facial expressions and body language.
Yeesh.
I mean, it's fun and all, but yeesh, talk about overcomplicated. But if you can talk, then why didn't you say something before? Wait, no. Why are you killing everyone? Why didn't the lightning hit you? Why aren't you killing me? What's going on? Huh? Well, to answer your question in reverse order, you tell me. I don't want to anymore. I have no idea. It's kind of my job.
Well...
And as to why I never said anything before, well, it's because nobody ever tried to talk to me before now. Everyone's always just sniffed, screamed, and ran away from me. They all just treated me like some kind of horrible monster.
What?
What? Just kidding. I totally am a horrible monster. But seriously, there's not really much sense in exchanging small talk with someone when you're about to rip their tongue out, is there? Not that I ever actually gotten to do that, but still. Wait. Hang on. You know what? You're right. I have been kind of rude. We should at least introduce ourselves.
I'm Jack-Headed Jill.
Prima donna, a pain in the pumpkin patch, and muscular mistress of the machete. Also, the contract demon summoned by the thanks to you and your well done boyfriend over there, late witch of the lake. Oh. Speaking of which, my contract is technically complete now, so I'll go ahead and take my payment if you don't mind.
Huh?
Huh? What payment? The spell book, of course.
What?
The what? The magical grimoire bound in living skin and severed spinal column that you are currently holding. That is legally mine. Also, you might want to wash your hands. I think it's drooling on you.
What?
Hey, what?
Yeesh.
Okay, we'll try smaller words. Book, mine, not yours. Give me book. Understand? The spell book? That's what this is all about? Dozens of people are dead, including my best friend. Also, you could get your mitts on this disgusting old book. Exactly. See, I knew you'd get it eventually. What? Now, be a good little human and give it here. Good little human? I lost everything tonight, and now this thing expects me to roll over and do whatever it says like I'm some inbred spinal? F that. If this thing wants the book so badly, then it can pry it from my cold, dead hands. Actually, why isn't it prying it from my cold, dead hands?
Well.
Well.
And what if I don't?
What?
Don't what? What if I don't give you the spell book? What happens then? Whoa, is that smoke starting to come out of its head? Look, here's the deal, human. Either you give me the spell book or I will force it to take it. I will be forced to take it by force. Okay. Aggressive force. Right? Now, are we going to do this the easy way, or are we going to find out how long a human can live while it's being dissected alive? It's time. I wish there was like a save button down here, but no. No. Oh, come on.
Aha!
You can't take it from me, can you? I have to give it to you. It's some kind of magic thing, right? Right?
Thrice, damn it.
You can't do anything to who's ever holding this book. Clever, but the same rules don't apply to any of your friends and loved ones. Aren't you forgetting something? Huh? All of my friends are dead.
What?
You killed them, remember? No, I didn't. I mean, there's got to be someone left that you care about, right? Not on this side of this of the country. And even then, I have a complicated relationship with my family, so... Oh, come on. I can't go hitchhiking across the continent to look for someone you have complicated feelings about. I'm on a tight schedule here. Good to know. There. Just face it already. You've lost.
Human.
Human, I assure you, there is no scenario in this reality or any bordering reality where you do not give me that book. I backed away quickly as she stared down at me, and the fire in her head turned a cool, icy blue. I tried to look away, but the flames were suddenly hypnotic. That's it, just relax. I felt myself being pulled towards those flames, almost like I was falling into them. Her eyes seemed to grow larger and larger until they were big enough for me to go through. Big enough for me to dive into that beautiful world of cool fire and feel the flames cleanse me as they washed away all of my worries and cares. Vivian? I'm okay. It's just, it was different from the whispering before. It wasn't intrusive, just calming. It was nice, actually, now that I think about it. Now, repeat after me. I state your name. I state your name.
Huh?
Wait, huh? But chuckling at my own lame joke was enough to snap me out of the trance.
Ugh, thrice damn me.
This is why I never use glamorous, stupid, fragile. You tried to mind control me?
Human.
It's called suggestion, human. And don't get too full of yourself for breaking it. Glamours have always been my weakest subject. Enough. I spent the last 6 hours hunting down your idiot friends as part of a deal to get that cursed thing away from the witch. Then you go and throw her into her own fireplace. I earned that book. Not my problem. Fine. You know what? I get the hesitation. I haven't had the best first impression, so that's understandable. But I promise I won't kill you, curse you, hurt you, or do anything else but just leave once you give me the book, okay? It's saving decision time. No. Yeah, right. Like, I'm gonna fall for that. Oh, come on. I'm serious here. Maybe there's something in the book I can use to send you back where you came from. Oh yeah, let's play around with the soul-sucking evil book some more. Great idea, human.
Hey.
Look, we both know you can't control that thing. You're playing with hellfire every time you use it. You know what? Fine. Knock yourself out. Literally. Try another lightning bolt. Summon a tornado. Turn your own head inside out. Have fun. My mouse, I keep scrolling up. I'll just get the book from your corpse when this backfires on you. Which it will, by the way, just so you know. Peeking of her coming in. You are making this way harder on yourself than it needs to be. I did my best to ignore her and kept searching through the book, looking for anything that might help. Or at least something I could use to annoy Jill some more. Good to have practical goals.
Come on.
Come on. What kind of spells were in the book? Apart from Tote de Mortar, I remember there was a spell for casting a storm, a spell for making crops wither or grow, an oddly specific one for making bullfrogs sing a cappella. You know, just a lot of general witch stuff. What is that? What is that person sitting on? That looks disturbing. Was there anything particular unusual that stood out to you? Yeah, this person. Well, as I flipped past a set of instructions for brewing a potion that could make someone... Yeah, see? I knew it! I knew there was something... literal bricks. I found the spell for summoning a demon and binding it to the physical world. The same one the witch had used to summon Jill. Only the spell didn't include any way to send her back. Strange. You're sure there were no instructions on how to forcibly banish a summoned demon? None at all? Nothing aside from the demon breaking the contract, though if the summoner broke the contract, the demon would get free reign in the human world. Very strange. Not as strange as what was on the next page. Right after the demon summoning ritual was a nearly identical spell, but this one was a ritual for turning a human or an animal into a familiar. There was no details on what that meant exactly, but the two spells were almost mirrors of each other, particularly identical, save for a few subtle changes here and there. Interesting. Yes, but the spell specifically stated it didn't work on demons, so it didn't do me any good. There was only one page left in the book after that, and I remember swallowing and praying for it to be something useful. This had better not be a spell for turning me into a frog. It'd be an improvement for you. My heart skipped a beat, then I read the word at the top of the page. Zeitreise? The German word for time travel? Oh, as I read through the spell, I felt hope building in my chest, and the book starting to come alive in my hands again. The whispers in my head came back, even louder this time.
Human.
Human?
Hey.
Human, what did you find?
Zurück in die Vergangenheit!
I started reading the spell as she walked up to me.
Wait.
What are you? No, stop, human, do not cast that spell. Jill continued to scream at me, but the voices wouldn't let me be distracted this time. Every bit of my attention was focused on the spell. I never felt so focused in my life. I felt a slight chill before, but this time it was like the book was draining the heat out of my body through those invisible puppet strings.
Bringe mich in die
I felt my limbs start to go numb, and as a piercing needle like cold bit deep into me, and the winds began whipping around us again. Human, stop! I could hear a voice reciting the spell, but it barely sounded like me at all. I couldn't feel my lips moving. It was like the words of the spell were echoing in my head and then spilling out of my mouth. It isn't worth it. You have to. No idea.
Vergangenheit!
The rest of Jill's words were drowned out by the howling winds of the small tornado that spun up around me as I finished the last word of the incantation. Everything around me became a blur. The sound of the wind was deafening. Then I felt the storm close in around me and lift me into the air. The winds painfully pressed in on me from every direction, making my ears ache and my breath catching my chest. I squeezed my eyes shut and tried to cover my ears with my hands, but this time I really couldn't move. Those strings were holding my body completely taut, draining the warmth out of me and lifting me up into the eye of the storm. I couldn't see, I couldn't hear, I couldn't even breathe. All I could feel was the wind pressing on me, and the cold slicing through my clothes and cutting out what felt like little bits of my soul. My head started to spin. I couldn't tell which way was up or down or how high off the ground I was. Then
All right, everybody listen up. We've got a couple of events planned for tonight's party that I know you all want to get in on.
what?
Huh?
It worked.
Ugh.
Oh, Joy, she's a baddie. What worked?
Joy!
Oh my God, you're alive. Hey,
Vi.
what's gotten into you? Get off of me. I'd done it. The spell had worked, and I'd been sent back in time 6 hours to when I had arrived at the party. Joy was alive, Mark was alive, everybody was okay. I got a second chance to save them. So, a second chance to kill the demon. No. Jill turned out to be the least of my problems. Oh. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do a hard stop here. Chapter 1 has been completed. When we come back, I will be heading back into chapter 2. I hope thus far this story has been very interesting. It got me really hyped. So if I was reading too fast, it got me hyped. All right, but I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, night, or whenever you see this video. Comment down below, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. All right. Bye.